Go to YouTube and then mystery.
Do you guys see me?
You see what I see. Oh, is that yours too?
Have a good night.
It's just
Says we're live.
It's just
like
filthy
it's
as
not
muff.
Oh,
okay.
Oh my God. Jesus. I don't know.
5K grenade with a $50 super chat. Fix your damn broadcast, fool. We're trying 5K. Can you send some more super and afford this? No, I'm just kidding. Thanks a lot, brother.
Wait, I think we're. I don't know. Are we good now?
I don't know. Are we good, guys?
We're here. I think we're okay.
We're
So
here.
we're good. So I took off Wi-Fi. I think it's working. We have 115 people. It's kind of, they're saying. All right. Filthy's here. 5K. Jumba. Everybody's here. All right. We were going to play some machines, but it's too close to the wall, and I have a feeling we're going to lose. So I think we jump right into the queue and see what we can do. I'm going to set a Paul's going to set a fat head cutout of himself and put himself next to us.
By all means.
So guys, we're here at Ainsworth in Las Vegas. Slot machine manufacturer. They've got some amazing games. We're going to do a live Q&A with Mike. What's your position?
I'm the vice president.
The VP
of
of product here at Ainsworth. Slot Bandits, thank you for the $49.99 super chat. Did Filthy do a heavy chest workout before the stream?
One time, this week.
Show him your biceps. Flex for him.
I can't.
Do the.
I like this shirt too much.
All right, so we're going to get right into this, and we're gonna see what we can do. If we have technical issues, I apologize. Doug A, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Hey, buddy, have fun in Vegas. Sent you an email. Hope to hear back. I don't know. Is that good, everyone? Everyone's good. 5K, thank you for the $50 super chat. El Guerrero is kind of hot. So this could get a little inappropriate once in a while.
Yeah. You're going to get an inappropriate question.
All
right, what's going on?
Mike.
Dude, I do not work out like this guy.
Yeah, he does. He's my personal trainer. Don't let him
You've
fool
been
you.
lifting the slot machines?
Sometimes.
All right, so we've got a bunch of questions here.
Oh boy.
There's people that they're going to keep on sending stuff sort of in the chat here. So let's see if this works. So they're asking. One person's asking, do slots have algorithms?
Algorithms meaning it can predict the future.
Yeah.
So I mean,
RNG.
I can give the spiel on the RNG, but I feel like most people know that.
Yeah. Yep. Let me go through. Judith asked a question. Are the machines brand names that paybacks are better than on other machines?
So, common question. So the casino ultimately sets the whole percentage. Oh, you can't hear me.
Sound issues, hold on, guys.
We got our best guy on.
All right. Now is it working? I think it might be. What the heck? It's working!
Holy shit.
What the heck? It's working! All right, we found a different Wi-Fi hotspot, and I think we're going to be okay now.
Don't jinx it.
If you see the screen go it'll say reconnect now, then we'll know it's not working. All right, technical errors, guys. Sorry about that. We have better Wi-Fi now, so things are working. All right, we are all good. Let's start all over.
All over.
Here we go. So, Judith, Wharton B, are the machines brand names that pay back better than other machines? Mike.
Generally set by the property. So an Ainsworth game or Aristocrat game, IGT game, whoever is going to offer essentially any game in a variety of returns to play. Low end is going to be 85%, 15% payback, however you want to look at it. High end is going to be 97.3-ish. Typically, as these guys know, the higher the denom, the better the payback percentage for the player. But ultimately, it's determined by the casino property. You can look that up in a variety of publications, tell you thereabouts. These guys, I'm sure, know where to find it. I don't want to pick one over the other, but you can find that out. And traditionally, I don't see a huge differentiation across the floor. Like penny games will be one pull percentage, maybe nickels and X, dimes, quarters, dollars, so on and so forth.
They're saying they can't hear. Picky people. We'll get a little closer there. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the Wi-Fi again.
All right. So this is a good question. Hopefully you guys can hear. We'll talk loud. Moreno. Are people more likely to get a progressive jackpot at higher bets versus lower bets when some of these machines say you have a better chance to get that?
Yes, in many cases. So for instance, on an Ainsworth game, the way a progressive works is you are buying chances to win a progressive. So for the most part, say you're betting one, if you're on a $5 line game, just to make it simple, $1 might be considered like one chance at the progressive, where $5 can be 5 chances at the progressive. And you're seeing that, particularly if you're familiar with our hit before, win before progressive, you're seeing that in the incrementation rate.
All right, Gamblers Unknown. And there might be some repeat questions here, so we'll have to see as we go through it. So, is the bonus amount determined at the time of the initial spin that triggered the bonus?
On a Class 3 game like you see in Las Vegas, no.
What is the difference between a Class 3
So in a Class 2 game, if you live in a place that does bingo-based slots, so similar to like your Oklahoma, Washington State, there's several other markets. California has a few of them. On a bingo card, you are essentially playing a bingo game, and the game in front of you is just a display. So when that bingo draw is, your bonus feature or your free spins or whatnot is already determined by what you want on the bingo. On games like you're seeing behind us or you're in Vegas, it's an RNG. So each of those spins is still a random number generator driven event. It may be a different pot of numbers, so to speak, than the base game you were playing to get in, but it wasn't determined at the time the bonus hit.
Okay. And this is sort of a similar question. Diane Bruns, does it matter which bonus you pick when you have a choice? Is the payout the same either way?
Traditionally, your average payout is likely very similar across those. So the pick your volatility free games, right, is one you see all the time. So do you want 15 games at 2x or 5 at
or
3?
mystery?
Yeah, or the mystery. Yeah.
My favorite.
Your favorite. Yeah. Everybody picks the mystery. It's funny, we do player testing, everybody picks the mystery. But traditionally, if you look deep into it, the average pay on those is going to be about the same. But it is still being generated real in the random number generator.
Now, as far as the RNG, so when you push the button and the RNG, it picks one, right?
Correct.
And then the next one comes up, so the next screen or whatever, let's say a random pick or whatnot,
Yep.
that kind of deal. Now, is that a separate RNG or right when you first push it first time?
It will depend on the game.
So
It's the same computer that's
Right.
running it all. But you are in many cases allowed, if you have a big, like a stacked free games or something like that, it may be a different set of numbers
Right.
that is generated in the bonus that it's taking you into, but it's the same machine and software that's running it.
Right. But generally speaking, so like, let's say like the ones that come up, like you have to pick the brand or whatnot, and the majority of times people will get the mini. You know, so it's like they're not.
So that pick, you actually, there's a way, my telltale sign on if that's real or not is if
Shows
it's
up
showing
afterwards.
you what's underneath.
Yeah.
Like you picked them and then it showed you,
Yeah.
that's a real
The
odds.
aftermath, right?
We've done
Right.
games like that where it's truly as if I laid out 10 cards and I said flip them over and then, oh, no, you didn't pick the ace.
Right.
That is real. A variety of games made by Ainsworth and others aren't. And it is, oh, I picked them on. God damn, I got
Yeah.
the mini.
Always get the mini.
'Cause
Yeah,
usually-
every time, right? I mean, we won't name any games, but we all know which ones I'm referring to. I don't
Right.
want to disparage
Yep.
anybody. But those aren't a real pick. That is just generated
Right.
on
One
your
RNG,
pick.
right?
Yeah,
So
as opposed
you
to
push
like,
the button, it knows already
correct.
exactly
As
what you're
opposed to
gonna
like
get.
a free games feature or something of that sort,
Right.
which is truly those spins are happening.
Right. Something I wanted to air too, just because I asked this question earlier, so everyone could know and everything. As far as like remote servers and everything.
Sure.
So a lot of people believe that it's like you go into a machine,
Yeah.
you put your card in, you rub it,
Well, yeah.
all these different gimmicks or whatever, which have nothing to do with anything. Just wanted to get it out there and actually have you say
yeah,
it.
I mean, believe me, if there was a gimmick, they didn't tell me.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And if I knew the gimmick, like I
Right.
wouldn't be sitting here, right?
Right, exactly.
I'd be like, guys, okay, like 20%, let's go.
Right.
But no, look, the only thing that's really run on remote servers is that kind of bingo stuff.
Right.
Or you're seeing it in our historical horse racing market in Kentucky or so forth, where it's driven by a server. It's connected. The games that you're seeing in the bulk of again, Las Vegas, the bulk of the large Southern California casinos is driven within that game.
Right. But you can't actually, like, let's say from upstairs, you can't remote serve leave.
There's
activate
not
the bonus or
a
jackpot.
magic guy
Exactly.
going, you know what? I like the
Yeah.
looks of
Yeah.
Mr.
It's
Handpay
quiet
today.
over here.
Oh,
Let's
Mr.
do this
Handpay's
stuff.
got his
Yeah,
camera out,
exactly.
so he's definitely going to hit it.
Exactly.
Not only is that technically not something that really can be done
It's
legally,
regulated too,
it
yes.
would be a significant crime.
Right.
to do
100%.
that.
Yeah.
So there's a serious question here.
Oh boy.
So 5K, thank you for the lucky $10 super chat. Does yelling "do it" at the machine help?
Just yell it.
It's the one thing that actually does work.
Actually, some of the time it works every time, right?
5K, thank you for the other $10 super chat. When is it proper to use the term back to back properly? We're gonna ignore that one. That just hit
No,
me.
we'll get into this one.
So I just want to take care of these super chats here. Crazy Carl, thank you for the lucky $1 super chat. That's amazing. Big Jackpot, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. One of these guys is not my son. Filthy looks like Brian Christopher. Is his daddy
Are
possible?
we on Maury or what? He's
Interesting.
gonna tell us right now? You are not the father.
I've spent too much time with all you guys.
So
Yeah, right.
the slot drop, thank you for the $5 super chat. Does each denomination or bet level have a separate RNG?
It does not have a separate RNG per se. There is a variety of games where you can have a different return to player. Meaning, if you're looking at a game that's 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, in many cases, or even an Ainsworth game, you're looking over, you got $1, $2, $5 game. The higher you bet, we may give you better return.
Makes sense.
The higher. But it is still, again, it's the same chip. Can somebody grab me a chip? Just, I don't know if people understand what I'm talking, but it's not a whole different game.
While he's getting that, which casino, Jackpot Joe, Adventures in Slots, which casino has the most Ainsworth machines?
Boy, right now, I mean, WinStar, which is the biggest casino in the world now, it's 9,000 plus games, probably has the most of our games. You'll find a lot of our games. San Manuel, we've done really good. We just did a big install there in
Okay.
Southern California. Seminoles in Florida have been really good, but Probably just because it's fresh in my mind. It's definitely WinStar. I mean, we have a massive presence on that floor.
Awesome. You want to show us?
This is what a slot machine looks like. It's just a little computer chip. Don't steal that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go try to
Yeah,
put
two,
it.
right?
Yeah, go try to put it in and
Yeah,
see it.
exactly.
I wouldn't recommend.
I wouldn't know
it.
where to put it.
But again, that's literally when you see the guys, a tech go over or whatnot. Anybody's ever froze a game or whatever. They're literally just RAM clearing the game, loading this up. So these games, you see, it's all the same box. It's just a different software
Gotcha.
chip that brings it up. I
Just
think
like
people
just like
get.
a video game.
Yeah, not on like your PlayStation that you're putting your software in. It's the same principle.
Yeah. Sean M., the casinos put a hold percentage on every machine. Is it different from machine to machine, casino to casino? Obviously, yes.
Yeah. Again, at the same property, if you're at a property and you're a 1 cent player and you're playing a buck a spin, you're probably getting a fairly standard hold percentage, depending on where you are in the country, if you're 88, 90%, across every penny game. You go to quarter, okay, maybe you're getting to that 92. You're getting to $1, $5, your return's gonna go up, and it can range wildly from the Las Vegas Strip to Southern California to properties in Oklahoma. It can be a significant difference.
Do they have to publish that?
Yes.
To who?
It's publicly I know it's publicly available. You can find the best list. I don't know, give people published. Strictly Slots magazine for years was famous for that, and they'll publish it. If not by property, certainly by jurisdiction. And you can see the different hold percentages around the country.
That's awesome. World Peace Through Love asked, how are bonuses determined?
A random number generator.
RNG.
Yep.
I mean, it really is that simple. Is that like World Be Free? Like, wasn't that the Ron Artest?
It's just a name on here.
That
Here.
would be sweet if Ron Artest was on this chat.
Unless you have your card in. If you have your card in, it's not going to work.
So Chris Atlanta said, after a jackpot, are your odds better to immediately switch denominations to get another bonus?
People ask this all the time. It's literally a slot machine does not work like like blackjack. Where truly in a blackjack table, the hand before has an impact on the hand you're getting. You can learn a piece of information. Now, granted, most of these decks are not, but if you're playing single, double blackjack, there's nothing that happens before or after your spin has any bearing on anything.
Except for if you sneeze and you touch it a millisecond
If
later.
you
You will
rub
be
and you rub the fire on the horse, no, I mean it's literally a random thing. I always tell people it's like roulette. Yeah, I know it says red came up 8 times in a row, but it's still a 50-50 chance, well, 48 chance that it's going to be red or black. Nothing impacted before or after.
But if you
question.
push it now, it's always a different result.
Theoretically, yeah, it's always think about it. It's like if you were looking. The best comparison I ever used is bingo balls.
Yep.
It's constantly being shuffled in there. So in 1 second, this is going to be over here. The other stuff's going to be down here. But it's just random. And there's 15 million bingo balls.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. You got one?
Yeah. Can't remember now.
All right,
Must be another important.
we have a lot more here. All right, Chevy 5-Speed asks, what's the biggest possible payment or jackpot you could get? How do you determine that?
So like on an Ainsworth game, it tends to be what the progressive is. But we do run a number for certain customers that is called max exposure. And what this number is a game will be simulated like 10 to 100 million times, and we will pull whatever the biggest win is out of there, and make that available to our customers to look at their liability on a casino floor.
Do they have to say, like, because I know there's been machines that say max win is this much. Do they have to advertise that? Or
You don't have to say that, but if you say that, I believe it has to be true.
and then what happens if the machine malfunctions? And have you had that before, where all of a sudden it does?
We haven't had a ton of malfunctions, What I've seen in my career is like the occasional power function or something of that sort. Certainly there's horror stories out there, you know, where you can go down to the building here in Vegas and somebody angry because they think they got a jackpot. It's a tough situation, but knock on wood, we haven't had a ton of them. And if you're looking for a top pay, I would tend to look to the progressives most of the time. That's going to be your top pay in the game.
So at Potawatomi recently, there was somebody playing Ming Warrior, and the major was around $9,600,
Okay.
and they got in the bonus round, and I saw their payout was like $10,250.
Nice.
And I said to the guy, I was like, wow, I was like,
Yeah.
did you get the major? And I was like, there's no way you could have gotten the major because it was an even
Wasn't
number.
reset, yeah.
Well, it wasn't reset either, but it was an even number. There was no pennies. There was nothing else
Yeah,
involved.
yeah.
And he said he got it in the bonus round, and it was just a
Just
crazy
had
line
crazy
hit.
free games,
Yeah.
like $100 spin or something.
Yep.
And that's the max exposure number we're talking about that we will make available to the casinos is they're looking at things like how much cash to have on hand in a given day or something. But if I'm a player and I'm looking for a game that has the highest payout, you're just read the progressives.
Yep.
You're gonna know.
So Jerry asked, why do you guys program bonuses to have a chance to win $0?
Because you got really unlucky. I can't program what the bonus is going to happen, right? Because it is a random generator.
Yep.
So is what happened, I assume, at a 0, which is pretty tough to do. Like you got to really try.
It happens.
But it's you got whatever 8 free spins. You got 8 crappy spins.
Yeah.
It is random. Certainly, there's games that are more volatile than
Yep.
others, where when we look at volatility, we're often looking at the spread of numbers. So that is to say, get real math nerdy here, but if the average pay on a bonus is 30 times back, give or take, right? 25, 30 is going to be about your average. Well, there's a million ways you can split that up, right? I mean, it could land at 25 every time. It's a pretty boring play experience. You see games that some people love, some people hate, that like, you can get a taxable on your $5 bonus, or you can get 0. In the average, that return to player, it lands at the end of the month, end of the year, at that 90%. Like, and that's the game, right? But yeah, getting 0.
So based on, or talking about that, so Filthy today was playing Stinkin' Rich. I don't know if we can talk about our slots here.
Tough,
So
sure.
playing Stinkin' Rich, and
Blasphemous.
he
Likes
pushes
the
the
pig.
button. He pushes the button, and he goes, "How much was that?" I go, "It's $125 a spin," and he gets the bonus round. He gets 10 free
It's
spins.
500. Spoiler alert. You guys see that video coming up?
Yeah, 10 free spins.
Yeah.
And he
Got
didn't even get a
stung.
hand pay. Yeah, it wasn't much at all. So here's a question for you. So we
I want
play.
to point out that Stinkin' Rich is not an Ainsworth game.
It is
Yeah.
not. Yeah, that's
Just
okay.
to
It
be clear.
stinks.
Right.
It stinks. Okay, so what we've noticed, I'm a multiplier guy. Okay.
Okay.
And I know, like, if I get a 100x multiplier, I'm pretty happy. If I get 2, 3, 400x, I'm very happy. If I get 1,000, I'm like, ooh.
Based on your bet level.
Yeah.
Based on my
exactly,
bet.
yeah.
So we don't ever see the 1,000x multiplier at a $250 spin. But you see it all the time at $1 or
Just
$2.
the numbers, yeah.
Why? It's like the higher we go, the smaller the multiplier.
On the bonuses,
Yes. On payouts, on jackpots, non-progressive.
it would be legal to cap.
I don't know that it's capped. It just seems like you're not, like, if you're playing 50 cents on a machine, you're getting bonus after bonus, and it's not, you know. But then when we're playing $125 or $250 a spin on some machines, we just don't ever seem to get the same payout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in terms of if you're betting $100 a spin, you got to see yourself a $10,000 bonus, whereas at $1 a spin, you're seeing $1,000.
That's exactly so.
$100.
Just think about that. Yeah, if we're betting $1 and you do get $1,000, that's huge. But if we're betting $100, are we getting 100,000 or?
I mean, so our ID nom game in place, you talk about the enforcer. There's no difference in the real strips that you're getting, no matter the denom you play, right? It doesn't change. There's no artificial cap on what that can be. Theoretically, I think it would be legal for people to cap them. see how you do that. I don't know. I
So-
don't have a good answer for that one.
So casinos they could take it in the shorts on a machine or two and really be upside
You
down.
could get I mean, that's the greatest concern of every casino. It's the greatest concern of me when I go home, right? Is I'm going to get a call from somebody that goes, I don't know what happened, but Mr. Handpay was playing, he was playing Eagle Bucks, and, well, he hit 5 of a kind wilds on 10 spins and re-triggered it and hit 10 times. And I literally, I have got that call before. It's a great day for you. Rest assured, it's not a real fun evening for me. I don't know how they would cap that. I don't know what your experience is different, but I can tell you in our games, there's no change. We're simply moving it, your denom up. We're just spreading that across. It doesn't change what those real strips doing. It doesn't change the frequency of the bonus event, right? If it's 1 in 130 average for a bonus, that doesn't change at all depending on denom.
Okay. So we're getting a lot of repeat questions here, everybody. I'm not going to ask those ones. 5K Grenade, thank you for the $10 super chat about Chumba. Jackpot Joe, thank you for the $4.99 super chat, asking about the Ainsworth, who is the most. We said Windstar. Yeah, so Brad S.
Actually,
asked,
let me change my Windstar for Class 3. The most games we have in a single location would be Derby City Gaming in Louisville, Kentucky.
really?
Yeah.
How many?
We started with 1,000 out of 1,000 was 100% before.
Wow.
Those are historical horse racing games, which we can go down that rabbit hole, but that's I'd like to keep a couple people on.
Yeah.
But tremendous facility via Churchill Downs. It will feel like a Las Vegas casino in there. They've done an amazing job with it. They opened in 2018. We were the first manufacturer to do HHR with Churchill, so we had 100% of the floor.
Wow.
That's changed. In the Class 3 world, it's got to be Windstar.
Brad S., if a game is hitting, great. Can the casino change the payout percentage while you're playing it? How long must it sit idle before it can be changed remotely?
Can't be changed remotely. If they change it, it means the guy came over, tapped you on the shoulders, said stand up, opened the thing up, and adjusted it on the hardware. And it'll take you.
Can they do that? They can probably do anything they want.
In
It's like
theory,
changing a dealer.
I don't know. I've never heard anybody
Well, it
being
doesn't
like,
happen
"You're
often."
too good.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't take your money anymore."
Yeah.
Because again, it's the math will be the math at the end of the day.
Right.
As far as changing it, it probably takes from the time you open it up, go in there, like 5 minutes. But you would see the machine go dark and then have to reload.
Right.
All right, got a bunch more here. Yeah, so Tom and Roe love our machine scheduled in advance as to payoffs, and if so, how much in advance?
Can't do it.
No. But these ones, you're guaranteed to get a bonus before $10,000.
Correct.
We know that on some of these. You see the top end. And
Yep. So the way that works, I'll give you like inside baseball. I don't think most of win befores, including us, if you see that, some of our competitors do it as well. Typically, the way a hit before, the way a hit before works is say that hits. So there's one back here you probably can't see, but if it's 9,000 hit before 10,000. When somebody hits it, Mr. Jackpot gets his $9,600. He's got a cool video for the day. Filthy goes, "It's my turn." But when that hits $9,000, the RNG triggers an increment on the game. So that increment is then drawn randomly out of any increment from $9,000.01 to $9,999.99. That locks in. From then on, people are playing, and when it increments to that level, the jackpot will hit.
is there any way someone can find that out before?
No, you can't find it out, but certainly there's very sharp people, such as probably yourselves and others, who have, they'll try to mathematically figure out, okay, if I bet $10, it's increasing 2 cents every
Yep.
spin, and try to do that way. Again, I love those players, but the math is the math. like it's going to pay 94%. And so, but it's certainly definitely a large part of the appeal of our win before games, right? Is people chasing that and like, all right, it's got to be coming next. You know, it's at $9,600. I got it. You know, and I mean, we've done tremendous with them. There's very few casinos around the country that will have some out.
Yep. Tristy, our random progressive program to hit at a certain amount, or is it just through the RNG?
I just talked a little
exactly
bit about
what you
that.
said.
Yeah, but if it's not that, it's just RNG driven, truly.
So Jackpot Joe and Slots asked, how do I get one for home? Can you buy these machines?
You cannot buy a video or any slot machine that's still on casino floors, at least in Nevada. I know the Nevada rule is the way we've done this before. Is occasionally we've maybe like given one away for charity. It was a big thing for us, right? Hey, here's a used slot machine for the whatever charity auction. You know, people pay a couple grand to have the slot machine. You can't use a game. At least we can't. That's still operating in a casino.
Because you can learn how to operate.
You could take it apart.
In your advantage, yeah.
Do casinos own them or do they lease them?
Combo of both. They either will purchase the game and the software outright, or a lot of the maybe like particularly like WAP stuff or branded games of Pac-Man or whatever else is out there right now.
Paying royalties, right?
Yeah, and it'll be either a daily fee or in many cases like essentially a split of the win.
Yep. The slot reality. Do slots have hot and cold algorithms? They really...
The algorithms, I mean, no.
Ooh, are there, Marcus King, cruise ships? Are there restrictions on cruise ships obtaining newer games?
Not that I know of. I know that cruise ships have different rules related to payback percentage on slots. That if I was a player,
Yeah, and that's
It's a lot lower on cruise ships.
Yeah, I
Because it's
mean,
on the sea, right? So kind of
it's
like
operating in a sort of gray area.
Oh, wow.
So Brian S said, if a bonus round with 12 picks or so for a grand, mega, major, minor, mini, and they reveal after every pick, is the award already pre-selected or is it actually behind what you pick?
Like we talked about
yeah.
earlier, yeah. If they show you what you didn't pick, it's probably real. If it never shows you where the right choice was, so to speak, it's probably predetermined.
Slot Wizards Grouchy Niece. Who comes up with the concept, names of the machines, how long does it take to build from start and finish, and is it all done here or around the country?
So for Ainsworth, we have, in this room we're sitting in, right here is probably, I don't know, 40, 50 people working on these games every day. They're all home because it's after 5 here or working from home because of the situation. We also have a studio in Sydney, Australia, and we've used a variety of third parties as well, both in the US and beyond to make the software, come up with the ideas. We have, it's a pretty massive operation to put a game together, about 9 to 12 month process. Between when you think about graphic artists, engineers, game developers, software engineers, quality assurance, testing, regulation, it's a pretty heavy lift to put a game out.
So, Moreno. So there's been a few times I've noticed I was getting bonuses and my credits were repeating numbers, like $55.55 or $44.44. Is that completely random? I want to say yes.
Think so.
Nikki, is there a certain amount of money that needs to go through before progressives are hit? We did talk about that. Are the odds better to win? So Preston, you're saying our odds better to win a progressive jackpot when it's higher maxed. We did talk about it is better when the bet is high.
Yeah.
When the volume is high, that doesn't matter. We're teasing you guys. It's not an 8.2% better chance to win if the volume is cranked on a machine. Correct?
No, the volume will not do anything. Your bet level absolutely will. I mean, like when you look at our must-hit buys, I think that's the perfect example that you can see as the player. If I just told you how it worked. If I'm hitting it at $25 a spin, I'm getting more chances
Exactly.
than
Yep.
if I'm betting $1 a spin.
Yeah.
That is absolutely legit.
Well, what's interesting is a lot of people, and I see more often than not, you see some other manufacturers that they have a grand that's hit at $1.25 and it's a 25 max bet or whatever. But I don't think people realize that those are the bets that are getting hammered way more often than the $25 bets.
Right.
True. Yeah, if
Smaller
they're,
ones.
if they're different progressives, yes.
Yep.
If it's running to the same thing,
Yep.
then it's going to be based on your odds of what that is.
The slot drop, our slots programmed to have pay cycles and intake cycles.
Yeah.
That's interesting because when we were at a live,
I think I understood that question. Go ahead.
so I think he's saying like in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, would it pay out? Or what?
So like the other day at there was a Buffalo Gold machine again, another, but
I'm
I
a
don't
fan,
I don't
so-
play that game because I can't see what the progressives are. I don't know if it's in bonus or about to go in bonus. You're just going into a blind because I see nothing on the screen. So somebody was playing, they were playing $30. It was a $15 to $90 max bet.
Okay.
$30 a spin, got 15 Buffalo heads for 106 free games for $144,000.
Okay.
So with that happening, are the next 2 months going to be, or the next 2 weeks going to be, no one's going to win any money on that machine? Or what? What is determine the amount of time to determine that 94%
So
or whatever?
it's an indefinite timetable, right? So again, I'll use our must hits as a perfect example of this, right? Is when that thing hits at $9,800, or even we got some link ones that's called $100,000, and you drilled it, like. Yes, the pay will go down because $100,000 over. It's going to take time to build that back
Progressive.
up. But then it hits again. Over time, that lands you at about 94%.
Yeah.
So we have that's the casinos feeling that pinch too, right? I mean, well, nobody's gonna feel bad, but you come in is you're all feeding it when it's getting close, or when you think it's getting close.
Yep.
When it goes down, and you're seeing this with a lot of the persistent state stuff too, right? Is when that thing on Hexbreaker 3 is right up to the top, people are gonna hammer that thing.
Right.
And you're seeing more and more of this perceived persistent stuff, right?
Is that your machine, Hexbreaker?
It's not.
Thank goodness.
But you're seeing more and more of now that's not even real, right? That is it's gonna light all these candles, or it's growing this thing. We're doing it the same as everybody. It's kind of the latest trend.
Right.
So trying to give the players that like, oh, it's almost hit the coin pile, it's gonna tilt.
Right.
Now when that knocks down, the play goes down, right? And so mathematically, over the course of an indefinite time period, it will land at like 90%.
Let's say it's not a progressive though. Let's say it's just a hit. Like let's say you're betting like
Yeah.
$250 or something, like $250, I'm saying, and you hit like 100,000 or whatnot. Now, is it going to take like? Is there a certain period of time as far as like before that would actually hit a game, or?
So it wouldn't be a set period of time
Right, it's just
because that bonus
RNG at that
is
point.
RNG'd it. That bonus is going to hit whatever it is on a high denom game. 101 and 140 probably is
Right.
about what most of them are doing. So it has no impact before or after. The casino will be upside down on the game for a
Right.
couple of days. Like they paid out $100,000. $100,000 didn't go in that. But just mathematically, that result you got was a 1 in 10
Right.
million result. Just as the odds are, like I hope I can do it twice in a row.
Right.
The odds are it's not going to happen.
Right.
For a million. Not too many games end up upside down.
But theoretically, it can happen. Like as far as,
Theoretically,
like,
you're just as likely to hit that jackpot
Right,
twice
you
in a
don't-
row as
exactly.
it is to be
Gotcha. That's my question.
straight RNG.
So, is there anywhere we can find the statistics for like what the actual odds are to hit a certain grand? Like how many different spins it's going to take, but I guess it would be different at every
It would be
single bet level.
Different at every bet level. Nobody will publish that. It's
Yeah,
not-
That would be
It
interesting. I
would,
mean, you see
yeah.
$100,000 grand, you're like, I hit it at this exact moment. Like, what were my odds of doing that? Is it comparable to the Powerball?
It's probably, if you're looking at progressives, probably 1 in a couple million.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's
it's tough.
Is what you have to understand is like is people always say that like it's like hitting the Powerball, but most people are buying 10 tickets on the Powerball or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's 1 in 292 million, right?
But,
Everyone else is spending as well.
you put $100 in there, you might get at $1 a spin, even 250 and some odd
Yep.
spins, right? So that math is sort of a little bit tricky. I mean, it's all on what is called the par sheet.
Yep.
And companies like the one I represent guard those with our very souls, right? Because that is what the real strips are. The casinos will have them, but what all the RTPs, what all the average pays are, what the cycles of hits are, and so forth. I don't think too many people would publicize that for a variety of reasons.
Right.
So
Obviously, it wouldn't be advantageous for them.
It would.
whatsoever.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I'm pretty. I mean, look, the bonuses that we have running. Call it one. I mean, the quick spin wheel game. I know it's you don't like it, but that was our most popular penny game. I mean, that wheel spins 1 in 56, right? We marketed that.
interesting.
But when you
What's it
talk about volatility, is you're like, well, 1 in 56, like, well, yes, but it's gonna pay, maybe half as much if I had it spin 1 in 125.
Yep.
Right? Where our high denom stuff, those bonuses, or a free games bonus and a high denom for us is probably gonna be more than 1 in 130, 1 in 140 range. And that's the play experience, right? You're Mr. Ham. You're not the player who wants to play $50 a spin, and then every 56 spins I get the wheel, and then I got a 15x.
Yep.
But there's a huge audience of people who they go to the casino. I want to put $40 in there, have a good time, and those games do really well. They're not going to be the same player who's going to be whacking $125 a spin on the enforcer.
Yep, and there's people that have different goals when they go to the casino.
Absolutely.
So, John and Joanne Blissful Slots said anyone who's gambled for a long time has seen a change in casinos. 8 years ago, $100 would last a long time. Now you're lucky to get 5 minutes of play. Something has changed. Can you comment on that?
I mean, hold percentages certainly can play a part. I think also it is a little bit of what I just described, right?
Yep.
More and more of the games that are incredibly popular, and this sort of hold and respin mechanic or other things, it's chasing big wins, right? It's the true gambling experience. Maybe 8-10 years ago, there was definitely this drive for live entertainment. Time on device was a big thing we talked about in the industry. For us, it's trying to navigate that, right?
Yeah.
Because you go too far one way, and I didn't win anything. Coming up, I played quick spin. I don't like that, and I'm like, fair. I mean, a lot of people do, right? It does, but you go too far the other way, and they're like, man, I put my $100 in there. I didn't even see a bonus.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And so, our biggest challenge is the people who make these games is trying to navigate that. And we do a terrible job of telling you what it's going to do, right?
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, but again, look, the general rule is the higher the denom, the bigger the bet, right? I mean, when you're playing a $50 a whack game, you're a gambler. And if I give you a 4 times win on a bonus, you're like, they ripped me off. And either I'm going to try to get them again because I know they owe me, or I'm never going to play again.
Sounds familiar.
Right. That's a different experience.
Yep.
People have it. It's the fun. These guys up here spend, hours and days going over math sheets of how to make this all work. And it's the biggest challenge we have, right? Is how do I walk that line that I give you a great play experience?
Right.
You don't feel ripped off, but I still won.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's wild. That's what it's all about.
So we have about 500 people in here right now.
Jeez.
A lot of questions. So I know Ben Gallant, thank you for the super chat. I haven't gotten there yet, but I saw it flash through. World Peace Through Love also asked, quick spins, does that really affect the difference in if you're going to win or lose? Does that?
Oh, like fast? No,
Fast
you're
tapping?
just pulling the numbers out faster.
Thank you for the $10 lucky super chat 5K. I don't think that matters.
What do you say?
Do I even want to know?
It's something
No.
about me. I think. I just love filthy.
David Montana, are you less likely to hit a jackpot on a machine that just paid out 2 jackpots earlier in the day? It's all random.
Yeah, it's again. I go back. The example I
But-
use is roulette.
If you look at it from the point where it already paid out 2 jackpots, technically it might, because it already paid out 2 jackpots, if you look at it from the past now. But if you look at it moving forward, like,
Keep in mind, it's
That's
like
it.
keep in mind, it's roulette's my favorite example for this, because when you have that, call it, say there's 15 million results in that RNG,
Yeah.
and you just won the biggest
Yeah,
jackpot.
just pulls out one.
It doesn't take that one away. It throws it back in the
It's back in
bucket.
there, yeah.
And so it never. Roulette's the way people envision it the best, I think, or even a bingo ball. When you play bingo and it takes out, 69, and everybody yells at the Vegas casino. 69's gone. It doesn't come back in. That's not how a slot
That makes
machine
sense,
works. It's if you took that out and then you just threw it right back in the bin. It's more complicated, but it's this best example.
Right.
World Peace was, why do they take machines off the floor when you win too much? I don't know.
I think that that's pretty unlikely unless there was some problem with a game that we were kind of talking about. Like, well, what if? I'm like, well, they figured it out pretty quick.
Quentin said, does stopping the reels mess up your odds of winning?
No, again, it's whether you're doing the across the screen or you're just hammering it. It's just pulling numbers faster and faster.
But it will change the time you push the button, so it will
Changes
affect the future
time you
outcome
button,
that
but
way.
it doesn't give you an advantage or disadvantage either way.
Right. No gimmicks at all.
Oh, do machines that are all in the same bank that share progressive payouts affected by other machines on the same bank that may have paid out? Or are we still talking about the roulette thing here, and so it doesn't really matter?
It'll reset the progressive.
Yep.
But it wouldn't. Again, it's right back in the bucket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's different places too. We were talking about that earlier as far as like megabucks.
Yeah, like if you
how-
have, the wide area stuff, they'll be across the state. You
Right.
know, I mean,
Yeah,
you'll
one,
see
Yep.
the Cosmo. It's in there. You walk next door to Aria. And
Yep.
it's like
That's
it's the
right. Or
same
down.
thing. If
Yeah.
it went down,
Yeah,
somebody
exactly.
just hit
Somebody
it
hit, yeah.
somewhere.
Right.
And those are all by state.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Randy Sargent, is there any way to know what a machine jackpot resets at once it's hit? And I honestly would say that is just through sitting at a casino and seeing where they reset
Yeah.
at. You're not going to know otherwise.
I mean, yeah.
They're all different.
I think that most players who are, above a casual player figure that out pretty quick.
What is the biggest grand jackpot you have on any of your machines? And do you keep track of these people rather than the adventures?
So we don't keep track of the people because we don't know unless the casino tells us or publicizes, like, you agree to your photo. But I don't know as Ainsworth who won the big jackpot, if that makes sense. When you're playing these wide area games, like the Megabucks, the perfect example, if you hit the Megabucks for 15 million, like you're gonna be sitting there a while because that's
100%.
actually run by IGT.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably gonna be pretty happy. Take your time. They'll
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
give you $100 off your room, and and they got to drive over. IGT actually pays that. There's a server in an undisclosed location that's monitoring this, which is every megabucks across the state of Nevada. Somebody will hit that, and that's a big to do. If you just hit ours, the casino will come pay you.
Yep.
I don't know who did it. Our biggest right now is by a half million. We've got a couple $500,000 jackpots.
So those ones are not a progressive that's adding to.
It's not what's called a wide area progressive.
Okay.
So if it's a wide area progressive, which most cases means it's across multiple casino sites. In Nevada and New Jersey, most markets has to be run by the operator. So IGT, Aristocrat, and Cygames, I believe, are the only 3 doing it right now. Every might have introduced one. Ours will be either a local area progressive, which is like that bank, or maybe just on that casino floor,
Yep.
or simply just a standalone on that game. In which case, that's all paid just by the casino built in.
Does putting either money or a ticket matter? Which I think we know the answer.
No.
And then a lot of people think that they only win a bonus or a jackpot when they have on their last spin or next to no money left. Again, doesn't matter, right?
I think psychologically it's because you remember those ones. I really believe that. Like, I remember playing dollar video poker once. I played a lot of video poker in my life, more than I want to admit. And I remember like hitting a royal on my very last spin. And so it was literally like $4,000 even was on the thing. The guy walks over, he's like, your last spin?
Yeah.
Psychologically, I remember that way more than, the other times that I've sat there and grinded over one, finally got at the top, still was upside down on the day,
Right.
The odds of hitting a royal flush are very different. So,
Exactly.
they're
Well,
crazy.
it's big. You live in Vegas. There are all the taverns and restaurants and whatnot. But I mean, I think there's some psychology to the gambler that we remember these things that are outliers, and when you look at it and you're like, well, actually, there was like 3 other times I got 0 on a bonus, but this one happened recently, and I happened to have my camera, and I had just and so psychologically, it's part of the gambling fun, right? I mean, it's gambling. Let's not forget that.
5K, thanks for the $10 super chat. 5K is wanting to thank Chumba for a great time. All right, Jackpot Joe and slots. Why is Australia a big place for slot development?
It's, the home Ainsworth still is based in Australia. We're traded on the Australian Stock Exchange. Aristocrat is Australian. Long history of those two companies. Len Ainsworth, he founded Ainsworth, he founded Aristocrat as well. And the history of the pubs and clubs there is certainly kind of crossed the Atlantic and vice versa, right? Some U.S. companies have gone there and been pretty successful. Built in the culture, man. Australia's it's a cool place. They like to gamble.
Interesting. I could go off on that because I've talked to some people from Australia, and I think they complain about payouts on some of their machines out there, and there might be maximums.
It's just like America. Everybody complains about a payout and maximum. There's definitely some pretty stringent regulation in Australia.
Yeah.
But that history is, there's guys like Len Ainsworth who's still living. He founded Ainsworth. He was heavily involved in the finding of Aristocrat. And it's just that culture.
Yeah.
It's, so all these people, we have these big buildings in Vegas.
New England Scratcher, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate you. If you guys have not checked out New England Scratcher, please do that. Scratches hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of lottery tickets every year.
Dude, we used to work at Side Games. I've been to the thing in Georgia where they print them. Dude, it's the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Imagine.
It comes on like a big news thing. Dude, you want to talk about security? That is under Fort Knox. But it's crazy. It comes on like if you ever seen a newspaper roll, and it's just tickets and tickets forever. Anyways.
Pyromaniac, are branded machines really that bad in terms of payouts? That's an interesting question. So do you want to stay away from those because they need to
define
pay?
brand? I assume they mean like Willy Wonka or
Yeah, exactly. Something you have to pay royalties to. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Marilyn
Monroe.
No.
whoever gets her royalties now.
Traditionally, again, the payback at a penny game will be pretty standard across the casino floor. There's certainly minor differences. I don't believe that to be the case. Certainly hasn't been on the.
So they don't make up for the royalties being paid. Or
No, we make up the royalties by charging more to the casino for it, right?
Oh, okay,
Which is
gotcha.
in trying to get you all to play it more. So that's why, like, when you see, we did a Pac-Man game that has the big yellow wrap,
Right.
or you see these massive signs. It's all marketing design because those games do need to be more successful, but it tends to be a higher price on the operator rather than a higher price on the player.
That makes sense. Would you have a better chance winning on a slot machine built in 2013 versus 2022? It's all on.
Depends on
odds,
what depends what they set it at.
All right. And Corey, I can answer this. Does it help you preload the machine with more money, improve your odds, 100 versus 1,000? Doesn't make a difference. But why do tribal casinos pay less? I think some do, but some don't. It just depends on their payout. It's all individual.
Yeah, look, I would definitely, again, do some Googling. I know there was a casino player in Strictly Slots and these kind of old school magazines, right? Kind of all forgotten about in this area of YouTube, but they will post RTPs around the country on a monthly basis. I'm sure they're online. I think that you would find that tribal casinos are very fair in their payback in the vast majority of places in the country.
Slot drop, what's the average ratio of spins to bonus? 1 to 50, 1 to 100, 1 to, it's going to vary.
It's going to vary. Like I said, the best example I can give you is quick spin. Our wheel games, once it's 1 in 56 spins on average, you would hit that wheel. 3 games on a high denom, 130, 140, and then a million iterations in between.
5K, thanks for another $10 super chat. Chumba, or 5K loves Chumba. Yeah, JS Slots. Is it true that sometimes casinos strategically place hot machines in certain areas to attract more traffic than other areas of the casino?
Well, there's no such thing as a hot game, but they're certainly placing the more popular games, right? So, I mean, I'll talk about, right now, Dragon Link's the biggest game in the world, right? I mean, it might be the biggest game ever made, right, in terms of how successful it's been.
That's why I play it.
Yeah, I mean, right, I mean, those guys have done a phenomenal job. So they're placing them with the idea of them drawing players to certain areas of the casino and around the floor.
Yeah.
And you're also then seeing, because more people are playing those games, you're seeing more jackpots, and it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So when you're on a bank of, a full bank of 6 or 8 games, it feels like somebody's in a bonus all the time, because they are, right? But there's still 6 other people playing who aren't in a bonus.
This is an interesting one. Cyclone Fanatic, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Why do you guys ask to reset it after a jackpot? So often they need to card the machine after you hit a jackpot.
That's to reset the hand.
Yeah, you got to turn off the hand.
They do that, but then afterwards they come in, they need to card the machine a lot of times.
To log it, probably.
After it's
I
been
don't know.
paid.
I
Or
don't
they
know
need to
the answer to
reset
that.
it from the back, and this may
I
be
would-
back
I would imagine.
office or back behind the scenes kind of stuff.
So I do know that most jurisdictions, every progressive needs to be accounted for like once a day. So you will see somebody like walking around the casino floor writing down progressives in a very old school manner. A lot of places can pull it off the system now.
Yeah.
Might be something to do with that, but I'm not familiar with that one.
5K grenade, $10 super chat. Thank you. I would change my mind. I would like Randy to thank me, please. Randy the Slot Wizard, please thank 5K. How many lawsuits are there for a malfunction on a machine?
It happens.
And do they win?
Rarely. Rarely.
So one thing I don't like an IGT Wheel of Fortune, that right now a Potawatomi is 3.5 million, and last time it hit was 1.4 million.
That's yours for the taking.
The thing they don't tell you is that is an annuity over 20 years. Until you go into the machine and you start looking at everything, or they have a little tiny sticker on there. That is very deceptive.
I haven't heard of any big ones like that recently. I know previous companies I've worked at, I think players had an option. I think that you could take a
You can't for
lump
next to
sum
nothing. Yeah.
or whatever it
50%,
was. I
something like
forget.
that.
But I haven't seen a ton of that.
I'm just going through there. Are you allowed to gamble if you work for a slot manufacturer?
Yeah, I can gamble. I would not. Well, legally, I can't gamble on our progressives. Particularly our progressives. That's not a good look when the it's not
One of the biggest grand
just sitting there. Guys, I'm not going to
Never
be in.
saw it coming.
Not going to be in tomorrow.
You know you got a huge problem if you played it all day here.
But absolutely. For those of you, it's a live office. I mean, certainly not only are our employees like game developers allowed to gamble, I mean, they're encouraged. Like, I mean, we want our people out there within reason, responsibly. But I was, like I said, I was in Oklahoma last week. I mean, I played a bunch. I want to see, just like you guys, I watch your videos, but I want to go out and play. I want to experience these games. That's the market research or whatever you want to call it. But it's a part of the job. probably more a part of the job than maybe it's supposed to be. My boss might watch this.
So Brian asks, one of his favorite games, Meteor Storm. Are you ever going to bring that back?
Meteor Storm? I don't think that's our game. If it is,
bring that back.
yeah, no, I don't think it was one of. If it was pre. I've been here since 2015, and I don't remember that one.
How about this one? I don't know if you have the answer to this. Reservations are exempt from gaming restrictions. There is no gaming authority or commission. They can set any game at whatever they want to. Is that true?
Not true. It depends. Look, that is very much a case-by-case basis and who the regulatory authority is on state-by-state, tribe-by-tribe. There's also an organization called National Indian Gaming Association, which has created a series of regulations that oversee the vast majority of Native American properties. And so we're constantly working with them to make sure we're meeting the requirements the same way you would meet Nevada Gaming Commission or whatever. So they handle a lot of stuff as well.
So some of these other questions we got sent to me earlier. Judith, you sent 2. Janet, when going to different casinos, they're paying different in different states. It's all luck and different percentage payouts. So do you guys do the psychological near miss? Do you guys program that in? Because when you say something's random and then all of a sudden you're always one away from a huge
So there's
jackpot.
a near miss and an anticipation. Those
Yeah.
are 2 different things. You cannot do the wheel bump. This is a legal thing. It's been like, so I can't make that wheel always end up at the one next. You know,
5,000, yeah.
the anticipations, absolutely we do that. If you get 2 of the 3, like we're gonna slow down those next 3 reels.
Oh no, not the anticipation. I think he's just talking about.
Oh,
the general,
like they're getting 14
like
out of
getting-
15, 8,000 million times on a hold and spin?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
no. Well, yeah, that or for instance, like basically you get a 3 trigger or whatnot, or no, sorry, 2 trigger out of 3, and then the next thing, because people think, oh, I almost got it,
And then
the
3
next thing you
fireballs
get
or
it-
something,
Yeah,
right?
you get it
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
next time.
that one's not.
Yeah, I didn't think it was anything.
That's just going to be the real strips, but
Yeah.
absolutely, you know, those kind of anticipation things with the 3rd thing.
Yeah, no, it slows down. I agree
But
with
it's
that.
not impacting RNG. It's we just built
Right,
it into
yeah.
like, oh, the danger. We had a big talk about this with game developers recently. It's like, man, you don't want to do that too much.
Right.
And we had a game recently. I won't mention which one it was, but you know, it was like I'm playing the thing. I'm like, guys, this. I mean, I've hit this 60 times.
Yeah, it just
At
keeps
some point, you know, that's all part of the psychology. Like,
Mhm.
at some point, you can't just tease the player. Like,
Right.
you start getting into some regulatory dark areas.
Yeah.
But B, it's bad business.
Right.
Like, if I just give you that anticipation 40 times, like by the 40th time, you're like, I'm
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. The first 6 were fun, but
Right.
you gotta.
Keeps the,
You gotta
Exactly.
give it
Yep.
sometimes. It's all part of the game development.
I feel like the machines that have, or the places that have a lower percentage payout, seem that those bonus, like the 3 triggers for the bonus, you get the 2 trigger often, like all the time, and then you never get it. So it's interesting. All right, so this is an interesting one. People talk about it all the time. They don't play with the player's card at the casino because they feel like that's tied in, and or they believe free play doesn't really pay. As well.
It's just
all right.
it's just untrue. And I mean, if you're playing at any level and you're not using the player's card, like
You're just
you're
screwing yourself.
leaving money
Yeah.
on the table.
Exactly.
That's what I say
I
all the
mean,
time.
You're not
when
getting
you
your
talk
perks
to
and everything.
these guys who are trying to make a go of being professional video poker players, they're not doing it because they figured out a way to make that 99% payback 102. They're doing it based on the free play and bringing that in,
Right.
and so that their cash in is their cash out. I mean, there's guys all over town who talk to casino operators that have been chasing these guys for 30 years, right? Why you wouldn't do that? Like, you're just leaving free
Yeah.
play.
And that all. Oh, sorry, not to cut you
Yeah.
off. That all ties into what you were saying earlier, as far as like remote servers. Like you cannot trigger like a bonus
When
or
you're
anything
hitting
like
that button,
from up top.
it does not matter if those credits went in on free play, a ticket, a $1, $100
Right.
bill.
What I mean, the casino. Like
No,
they,
there's
They
nothing
can't trigger anything. You have to actually open the machine physically.
Physically
without
open it.
change anything or anything like that.
And yeah.
All right, Steven, can you custom? Can you have a custom slot machine made for personal use? If so, how much?
Yeah, we talked about that. Unfortunately, not something that you can really gamble on. I know certainly over the years, people, you'll see these games here, games we show in the showroom too, also don't have a bill validator or a ticket printer on it, so it's not a real gambling device. And certainly we've had some fun over the years, but I can't sell you one.
And yeah, expensive. It's a slot machine. Simon,
Slot machine costs about $20,000.
20 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. Simon wants to know, what is your favorite Ainsworth slot machine and why?
My favorite's Quick Spin because it's been our best game, and at the end of the day, I'm making a lot more money working at Ainsworth than I am gambling on slot machines. I mean, Quick Spin just because I've had such a history with it.
Yeah.
Launching it and going all over. I'm also a huge fan of our old quad shot games, which if you remember quad shot games, I would encourage you to hopefully stick around because in a few months we might have something fun.
Cool. I'm going to say my favorite Ainsworth slot machine is actually Kanga Cash, Kanga Riches. That machine, I like the original Kanga Cash where you have to have the kangaroo as part of the line hit. Yeah, and I have dreams at night about having 5 of a kind in there and then getting a whole bunch of. I love that game.
Do you like the repeat win too? The extra, I think we did the repeat win, right? So it's whatever your line was that triggered the free games, then that's your pay every time the kangaroo shows up. If you get a good line win, that can be a lucrative experience.
Yeah, I've never hit it huge on there, but I've played it a lot and I enjoy that. What's your favorite?
Probably the Mustang Money is probably one.
Mustang Money?
Yeah,
That's a great
classic,
one, yeah.
Classic.
So you have Mustang Money 1, Mustang Money 2,
Mustang
and then you
Money
have a new one, you said.
We've got this Blazing Fruit, which is Mustang. We've done a ton of stuff with the Mustang Money brand over the years. But the most popular one is actually Mustang Money 2, which is the high D sort of version. Both those games are like old standbys. It's crazy. I mean, they've been out there. Mustang Money's been out there more than 10 years, which is 3,000 years in slot machine years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like games do not last that long, so we still put it on our new cabinets.
The most popular Ainsworth game ever?
Quick Spin's up there. A game we did a while back, Rumble, did really well in about probably 2014, 15, 16. And then the stuff we're talking about, Mustang Money 2, Eagle Bucks, the Enforcer, Thunder Cash is another classic. So those high D games like Thunder Cash, Eagle Bucks, I'd probably give the nod to. For the low,
three games we'll play.
for the they're classics, especially if you're a big player. Quick Spin though there's thousands of them out there.
So Chumba Queen said, what's with the force symbol bonus trigger curse? So often, when you get 4, you can get 3, 4, or 5 triggers to usually a bonus. I don't know if you have that really in a lot of your games, but if you get 4, a lot of times you just don't get paid much. But again, it's probably all just.
It seems like they pay you up front, so like they pay you for the triggers, and then after that, during the bonus, they already.
I see. So like if you get 3, you get 10 free games. You get 4, 15.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's just again random and player psychology.
Right.
It's like I don't remember all the 3 of a kind because they happen. So I'm like, I got a 4, and I swear every time. And it's like maybe, like I mean, if you keep a ledger, I guess I don't know.
Right.
Guys, we're gonna probably wrap this up here shortly. We've just got a few more questions. We'll answer them quickly. What is the approximate cost to build and develop a slot machine that's ready to go to a casino?
It's in the probably if you include manpower, and probably in the millions. I don't know that we look at it. We don't really look at it on an individual basis, but on any given game, you're going to have 7, 8 people involved in that over the course of 9 months. The regulatory costs are significant to getting games approved by all the different markets. It's a significant undertaking, at least mid six figures.
And you guys should see this building here. This isn't cheap either. I mean, you got to put a cost on that too. And people are probably working on all different things.
We got all kinds of stuff
beautiful.
in here, yeah.
Very nice.
In the hardware, like I said, the hardware retails are about $20,000 just for the hardware.
People are saying, or Tom and Roe love machines that take up more space. Do they cost less to offset the rent? I think they would take up more.
No, it's
more.
the opposite
Yeah,
typically,
more.
right?
Yeah.
So if you look at one of the things we talk about, even with our new cabinets, is ensuring they're on a standard base. So so games keep getting taller,
Yeah.
getting them wider is harder because real estate on a casino floor is expensive, right? There's
Yeah.
only room for so many games, so you're certainly. I don't know that it's more expensive, but a casino operator expects a game, if you're going to take up 2 spaces with a game, to do as good as 2 spaces.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's a big manufacturer discussion right now with how to navigate that.
Have you ever had a slot machine that was taken off the floor because it was too controversial? Brian S.
No, I mean anything that's been controversial. Look, it'll usually get pulled in regulatory processes. I mean, you have to understand. There's 56 different regulatory markets in the U.S. that we have to be very cognizant of. So you're not going to do anything look, people have done Playboy, people have done all kinds of stuff, but there's definitely games that have been pitched to us, but we used to that's a little too close to a kid's cartoon or something of that sort, just not wanting to pursue it for those reasons.
Brazen Slots, if someone wanted to design games for Ainsworth, what kind of education do you need, and are you guys always hiring?
We're always hiring. Our game designers come from a variety of places. Typically, the most common software engineers, very popular but we're also in graphic artists, animators who are doing all this stuff, mathematicians. So typically sound engineers, you name it on the software. They're usually working, as kind of a team. Sort of the more experienced ones who kind of lead that team, sort of the growth path for those guys. So they come usually from one of those kind of backgrounds though.
Awesome. Last question. Chevy 5-speed. So how does the casino or slot manufacturer decide when they take out machines? Like a local casino has games from 2011 or so, and no one plays them.
Like traffic.
Yeah, I don't know. If they got games from 2011, there's games out there that I can tell you without a doubt our Ainsworth games on the floor you would think no one would play, and it's because 1 or 2 players go in there and hammer them for $500 a spin, and it's worth the casino using that spot. It's all about, for a manufacturer like us, what's called the house average, which is the average win of each game on that floor. And you want to be above house average to stay on the floor.
Yeah,
when you're below house average, that means you're not making as much as the other games on the floor. And ultimately, how a casino decides is the players.
Right.
If the players are playing the game, that game ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
If they're not playing it, or they played it once and they said nah, then that game's not going to be long for the casino floor or any casino floor, right? They can die a quick death.
Guys, we're going to call it there. So we spent 15 minutes trying to get my internet to work. Thank goodness they have awesome internet here, and we got this to work out. So, Mike,
I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
I was good. I was like, I don't know if this is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to do it. I hope that people got something out of it.
Yeah, no, you answered a ton of questions. And if you guys have not, check out Ainsworth on YouTube. Subscribe to their page. You guys will see new machines coming out.
New machines. You'll see a special Mr. Handpay peek at one of the new high denom games. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep, and then so find Ainsworth on YouTube. Filthy, let's find him. We're trying to get him to 10,000 followers on Facebook. Get over there, subscribe to him if you have not. Same with me if you guys could. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. We're wrapping up right now.
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys, for coming. You guys are phenomenal. And if you have any questions or anything, leave in the comments.
How many people do we have on?
We have almost 500, yeah, right now. And guys, thank you for all the super chats today. Those were awesome. Thank you for all the moderators. You guys help us so much. Keep all the riffraff out of the chats. You guys are great.
Still a little riff-raff.
Yeah, we're going to be.
Someone keeps commenting on gel. Do I have gel hanging on or something? I got this something about Mary going on.
Man.
So I'm not go. I might go live tonight. We'll see what happens. We just got here, and I'll be going live here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So you guys are going to see a lot of me. Hopefully, Filthy will be around. We're going to have a good time here in Vegas. So thank you so much. We
Smash
appreciate
that
you
thumbs
guys.
Up, guys.
Yep.
Don't forget that on the way out.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Keep smiling.